Have you ever noticed that no matter how much you rest, you still feel tired? Not sleepy, not physically exhausted. Just tired. A kind of exhaustion that follows you everywhere. You wake up with it, you carry it through the day, and somehow, it is still there when your head finally hits the pillow at night. Most people call this laziness, but what if it isn't? What if the reason you cannot focus, cannot care, cannot find motivation anymore, has nothing to do with laziness at all? Because lazy people don't spend hours worrying about what they should be doing. Lazy people don't feel guilty for resting. Lazy people don't constantly think about becoming better. Mentally exhausted people do. And there are more of them now than ever before. The strange thing about mental exhaustion is that it is invisible. When someone breaks a bone, people understand. When someone catches a virus, people understand. But when someone's mind is overwhelmed, exhausted, overloaded, most people just assume they are not trying hard enough. So people keep pushing themselves, even when they have nothing left to give. They drink more coffee, force more productivity, consume more motivation, make bigger plans, set higher expectations, and then wonder why they feel even worse. Because mental exhaustion is not a lack of effort. It is often the result of too much effort. Too many decisions, too many worries, too many responsibilities, too many emotions carried for too long. Your brain is not a machine. It was never designed to operate under constant pressure. Yet modern life expects exactly that. Every day you absorb information at a speed no generation before you ever experienced. News, notifications, messages, videos, deadlines, expectations, opinions, comparison. Your mind barely gets a chance to recover before the next wave arrives. And eventually something changes. You stop feeling excited. You stop feeling curious. You stop feeling present. Not because you don't want to, but because your mind is trying to conserve energy. Psychologists often describe exhaustion as a protective response. When the brain becomes overloaded, it starts shutting certain things down. Motivation decreases. Focus weakens. Emotional resilience drops. Even simple tasks can suddenly feel overwhelming. And the frustrating part is that from the outside, nothing looks wrong. You still go to work, still answer messages, still show up, still smile when people expect you to. But inside, everything feels heavier than it should. Sometimes mental exhaustion doesn't even feel like sadness. It feels like numbness, like watching your own life from a distance, like moving through the days without truly being there. And because there is no dramatic breakdown, most people ignore it. They keep telling themselves, I just need to try harder. I just need more discipline. I just need to get my life together. But discipline cannot solve every problem. Sometimes the problem is not that you are undisciplined. Sometimes the problem is that your mind has been carrying too much for too long. There is another uncomfortable truth people rarely talk about. Many people are not exhausted because of what they do. They are exhausted because of what they think. Overthinking is exhausting. Constant self-criticism is exhausting. Imagining worst-case scenarios is exhausting. Replaying conversations is exhausting. Trying to control everything is exhausting. The body can rest, while the mind continues running for hours. And eventually the bill arrives, not as physical pain, but as emotional fatigue, mental fog, loss of motivation, a strange feeling of being disconnected from yourself. Sometimes people spend years fighting symptoms without understanding the cause. They think they need more productivity, when what they really need is recovery. They think they need more stimulation, when what they really need is silence. They think they need to become someone else, when what they really need is to stop abandoning themselves. The modern world constantly tells you to optimize everything. Your habits, your schedule, your performance, your appearance, your future. But very few people ask a simpler question. How's your mind actually doing? Not your goals, not your achievements, not your plans, your mind. Because beneath all the pressure, all the noise, and all the expectations, there is still a human being trying to carry it all. And maybe that person deserves a little more compassion. Maybe you are not failing. Maybe you are not weak. Maybe you are not lazy. Maybe you have simply been strong for too long without allowing yourself to recover. And there is a difference. The strongest people are not always the ones who keep pushing. Sometimes they are the ones who finally recognize when they need rest. Not because they are giving up, but because they understand that a tired mind cannot heal while it is still being forced to run. So tonight, before you blame yourself for not doing enough, ask yourself a different question. What if the problem is not that you are lazy? What if your mind is simply asking for something it has been missing for a very long time? A moment of peace, a moment of silence, a moment where it does not have to carry the entire world alone. And if that thought resonated with you, you'll probably feel at home here. A place for the thoughts people rarely talk about, the struggles people rarely see, and the quiet realities of being human.